these laws, they think that they can stop people. Okay? People, the idea of government is afraid because, you see, ayahuasca is not about structure. It's not about a structure of life, this hamster wheel life that we built. If ayahuasca will show you that the life that we live in is a complete illusion. So the idea of government is afraid of that because basically it's afraid to lose you. Because you're going to realize that what the heck, I'm doing this. What the heck, what is this? This is a complete illusion. It will show you things. Believe me, it will. So, people, I want to say, think ayahuasca. As far as these laws, I'm going to say this, and you can take this however you want to. There are over 3 billion people on this planet. Government makes up a small, less than a fraction of the population. Try to connect what I'm saying. Government is like really small. It has no power over you unless you allow it. I don't care how many laws they put out. I don't care how many DEA, whatever you want to call it, units they got. I don't care whatever. They have, none of these government agencies from any part of the world have no significant power over anybody. Consciousness within us, and yes, for those people that work in government office, consciousness within us will not be denied. So no matter how well or you try to block people from understanding the truth, you will not. So what I'm trying to say, if anybody that's listening to this that works in law enforcement and any government agency, you want to create an idea of law and order because you're afraid. You are afraid. Okay? The very fear that you hold on to is basically holding you back. There is absolutely nothing you could do. Nothing you could do could basically barricade consciousness within us. You could put all the laws you want. You could spy on people on cybernets. You got different agencies that try to spy on people. None of those things that you put together based on your own ego mind, none of those things have no significant power. So you can take it that I'm challenging. I don't need to challenge anything. I already see a lot of things in life beyond this planet, and I have basically, I'm not all about fighting the power. I am power. I'm here to inspire people to reconnect who they really are. We put these ideas in place because we are afraid. These limiting ideas. So, again, I don't need to challenge anybody, nor do I need to have a picket sign telling the government, asking the government permission for this. I don't. None of you have to ask the government for any permission, unless you want to. But I'm telling you this right now, if you put government there, you put the police there, you can remove the idea altogether. And I'm not talking about harming anybody. Okay? I'm going to touch on the cops segment part of this clip. And I pretty much cover a lot of the criminal. Okay, now the cops. Why do we create the idea of police? Well, it goes back what I was saying about the robbers. People hold on to stuff. People do certain things, right? Other people feel afraid. People want something in place to protect them, to make them feel safe, to have some sort of order in place, right? So So we built the idea of police. We put the police there to, there as a public service to protect and serve. That's what every individual that agrees to this paradigm, this identity, this is everything that they sworn after they complete their academy. They're sworn and protect. I'm going to go a little bit more in depth in this. And I'm going to make this really short. The idea of law and order is a very limited idea. It gives you a false sense of security. The idea of justice divides in many levels. We latch on to fear. We allow fear to be some sort of God over us. So we have a law and order in place. Okay, we got people to lay down the law. We got the lawmakers, and you got the law enforcers to lay down the law, tell you what to do, how to think, and da 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 da. Through the years, we see a lot of people rebel against the idea of law and order. And we always wonder, why do people do these things? Why do people are not able to walk a fine line? We call these people that we label as dangerous, rule breakers. Oh my God, they are a menace to society. Lock them up. They're animals. They're dogs. So we get the law enforcers out. And, it's funny how consciousness works. Oh, wow. People rebel against the idea of law enforcement because it is simply not meant for people to have authority over other people. It is just simple as that. It's really not. And to go on, I want to say is that, there's a conflict within people that basically call as rule breakers. They just basically, they don't like to be in a tight, structured box. Now, a lot of you people are going to probably think, what am I talking about? Are you saying that people can just do whatever they want? I mean, they just go and rob me? No, I'm not saying that. But if you want to think that, if you do think that, be my guest. All I'm saying is that people, do certain things because, see, in consciousness, God, the infinite, there is nothing to tell consciousness, no, you must obey the law. So, even though people that's criminals, that's observing this limited paradigm, see, consciousness within them basically is not going to fully respect the idea of law and order because, again, it is not meant for any being to have authority over another being. Consciousness is not going to say to itself or put itself in a prison cell. Doesn't work that way. Doesn't make sense, everybody. It doesn't. So I'm going to go on and go further with the idea of police. So people get angry about police brutality and stuff like that. There's a lot of people don't have a lot of respect for police now these days. People are frustrated. People going about ways of attacking police and all that. And I don't encourage anybody to try to harm anybody because what you're doing, you're not really creating a world that you really want. Okay? You're not. So, excuse me, my voice get a little dry. But anyway, you know, law and order has failed time after time. No matter how many police that you put out there, no matter how many, let's say, military, everything, you're basically, you know, what you're doing is that you're reaffirming of a society that's not safe. Okay? So, when you decide to be a police officer, okay, whether you have different intentions, whether you want to feel like you're doing something good for the community, or deep down you have this ego trip of you want to feel some sort of power, you want to have a badge, you want to have a gun, a nightstick, you want to have people to respect you. You know, that movie, Let's Be Cops, that came over last summer, I gotta tell you, that movie was hilarious. That movie was hilarious. Wow. Thinking about even back then, back in the 80s, Police Academy. But this movie, Let's Be Cops, wow. It's like, these guys, they want to be cops because they want to feel respected. But in a funny way. They want people to respect them and take them seriously. They was considered as losers. Oh, wow. But anyway, a lot of you that decide to be police, you can search this within yourself, whether you're in self-denial or not. You have a crave for basically I want to feel the power. I want to lay down the law. Okay? It is an ego thing. But then, you doing that, and then you, let's say, rightly so, you want to do good for the community. That's your other intention. Okay? You're doing all these things, okay? It could be whatever reason that you want, reason why you want to be a police. It could be different reasons. I'm just giving these an example. But on the other hand, you're basically living a paradigm of fear. I used to know somebody that was a cop. One of the things that stood out when the person told me, everybody, even your family and friends, everybody is a suspect. I'm like, wow, everybody is a suspect? Man, you gotta have eyes behind your head. So, you're doing something great, let's say, for your community in one hand, and you basically living in fear in the other hand. So you basically creating a life of basically fear. You, by living in fear, especially the job you're doing, you're just going to basically, you are affirming more and more that, well, you know, the streets is not stable. I got to make sure everything is right. Everything is all right. Everybody's obeying the law and all that. So, I mean, you're basically reinforcing this paradigm that we all create. And there's always going to be bad guys, right? That's the idea. I got to protect and serve. Yet, law and order, again, has failed over and over. It's ineffective. I don't need, you see the thing, I want to say this. I don't need police to keep me safe. I don't. I know who I am. First off, I am fearless. I create the life that I prefer. So I don't worry about these things. People doing something to me or whatever. I don't. So I'm going to go further with this idea of police. You know, and then, you know, it stretches from writing tickets. You have, you know, I used to watch this part of this paradigm about cops writing tickets. And I look at it, and I heard some people talk about it, not so much, but the whole idea is basically everything to do with this law and order. It's a business. It's a business. You know, you have a lot of, you know, and it's the truth, and, you know, those that work in this type of job, if you're offended, well, you know, I'm going to, then please, you know, click out of this, you know, just leave the clip then. But I'm going to just tell you flat out the truth. You know, you got police that basically are waiting to get tickets because, see, the money that they, you know, the money that the fines that you get basically goes to the county. The county needs money, and they count on you to basically break these laws in order basically to get money. I used to say to myself, you know, this whole idea about tickets, speeding tickets. Yeah, one hand, they talk about the whole method about giving tickets is basically is to what? Is to make sure no one doesn't do it again? No, because people break the speed limit all the time. What's really the method? Well, it's basically to get money. You know, you got people texting while driving, you got people drinking and driving, you got all those things. And all these things that these lawmakers try to put out there, it just fails over and over. It's funny how this whole thing works. It's because of a certain belief system that we hold on to ourselves, and the idea of police, in terms of being the enforcers, is basically, it all operates, and I'm talking about the ticketing, giving people fines, it's all about a lack paradigm of money. Everything from bail bonds, you know, all that. I'm like, all of it is a business. It's a business. It's a business based on you. That's all it is. I used to say to myself, you know, I remember years ago I said to myself, this is the first time I'm sharing it. I said, you know, I felt that cops don't really care about anybody breaking the speeding limit. They don't. All they care about is basically giving you this fine. That's it. That's all it is. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. They talk about for safety. Oh, you got a ticket for seatbelts. I say to myself years ago, I just didn't believe a cop really care about my well-being because I don't have a seatbelt. The only thing stands out is basically that person giving me a fine. No, I never got a ticket for a seatbelt. I used to look at this paradigm about people getting tickets for seatbelts. I'm like, how is that? How are you telling somebody that you care about your well-being, yet I need your money, I'm going to give you a fine? Doesn't make no sense at all. It's a lack paradigm that's morphed into an ego trip that I need to lay down a law. In New York City, you know, you got, you know, there's been a lot of cases. You got cops are gun-ho, having a gun, and you got some of them standing with these big rifle guns and all that. And I look at them, I'm like, none of these cops intimidate me at all. I look at them like it just brings a negative energy in me towards them. And that's the way the paradigm is designed. You see, what I'm trying to get at everybody is that when you play something that symbolizes fear and control, you are never going to have a peaceful life. You're not. I don't feel at peace when I have to see somebody holding a gun and just waiting to shoot somebody. I don't. In fact, to me, years ago, I used to get a rise out of that. I'm like, I feel like I want to get a gun too and do a gun battle with that person. That's the feeling I had. I feel like a person challenged, like you're there, you just, it's like, and I was going through my own ego trip. I'm like, you know, people, law and order, you know, I understand that you want to feel safe. But I'm going to tell you flat out honestly, and I don't hear a lot of people talk about this. If they do, that's great. I'm going to tell you flat out, you're not going to have a peaceful life. You're not. Everything's connected. As far as the idea of someone being labeled as a criminal to someone that wants to be a cop, everything reverts down to you. If you hold on to these ideas about yourself that you're a criminal, then you basically is connecting with the idea of cops. And if someone wants to be a cop that wants to do good and yet have an ego trip of some sort of power over other people, you're not doing anything good on your end either. You're basically creating a war zone life. That's basically it. I mean, I can go further. I mean, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy about cops getting money out of people. I mean, I don't want to focus too deep into that. I just want to share to you about the things that I observed over the years about what cops do and the tickets and where the money goes and the whole idea of seeing people getting angry at cops. And then people are afraid of cops. And I used to hear that stuff. And you know, I allow people's negative emotions affect me. I'm like, why are you afraid of them? All because the person has a gun and a badge. Now, anybody, again, listening to this clip and you're a law enforcer, I know that you are intelligent in you to know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to say this, I'm not afraid of any cop. I'm not afraid of any criminal. I'm not. I know who I am. I don't need anything to protect me. I'm consciousness, just like everybody else is consciousness. We are all connected, people. And then you're probably asking, like, well, what other ideas that you have besides this law and order? Well, like I shared on my clip, The Dawn of a New Paradigm, it's about people basically reconnecting to consciousness that's in you. Let go. Let go of the negative, low energy that you have, that you hold on. Consciousness, like I said on that clip of A Dawn of a New Paradigm, consciousness works as an easy flow. There's no complications. There's no stress. Work well together. Doesn't matter what your skin color is. You're not of your human body, people. You're more than a human. Much more. You're consciousness. You can't go any higher than that. This being a suppressor and trying to control people, as long as you observe these paradigms, I'm going to tell you, for those that are cops, and those that decided to do some sort of criminal activity, you are basically reinforcing the life that you set out. That's it. It's all about energy. So you want to put the energy up as a law enforcer, you're that very energy, you're creating the life that you want. You're creating a life of fear for yourself and others. Me, I'd rather have a peaceful mind. A nice, easy flow. Because life is too infinite. Life is beautiful. It is. None of these limited belief systems that been around or that are latched to my life have no significant power over me. So anyway, I know I was a little short on a police segment. I figured I wanted to talk about people doing certain activities like criminals because it's a much more deeper, it's a spiritual matter. And yes, same thing with someone I want to be a cop. It's all a spiritual matter. It's not really about the physical. It's everything is spiritual. Everything. You're not a criminal. You're not a cop. These are identities that we cling on to, thinking that that's who we are. You are not that. You are much more than that. Some of you listening to this is thinking that this is very different. Yeah, it is. It is. See, I like to get things right to the middle. Break it down, and then I just want to express what I envision for everybody, what I envision for myself. Everything is possible. Everything. So I want to close out again what I said about the idea of cops. Nobody is not meant for consciousness to have authority over consciousness. So, for those that's working as law enforcers, you are going to continue to have people rebel against your petty laws that we create to try to control other people. That's the truth. It's not designed to bridge everybody. It's not. And I know deep down you're going to see what I'm saying. We all decide to cling on to these limitations because it's a game. We don't really say it, but it's a game. The human experience is all about self-discovery for consciousness. It's a game. I want to be the victim. So yes, I'm going to say the story of a victim. I am a victim, yes. I raise my hand. I am a victim. I create the story of my life. Yes, I am the law enforcer, and I'm here to protect people. And yes, I want to have the power. I want people to respect me. See my badge? And you see my SWAT car? You're going to slow down. I'm going to put the spotlight on you. Yes, yes. Those are the things that we raise in our hands and hold it on to. And yet we're creating a life of basically a cycle. But remember what I told you before early on. No matter how many layers of these egotistic ideas that we create, consciousness within you will not be denied. This is not anything that you are in danger. Consciousness is making itself known now. Right now. Right now. There's no hell. There's no one that comes down from the sky and bomb you. No. The power of love. There is absolutely no energy to outmatch the power of love. None. That's consciousness. So anyway, I did cover a great deal. Yes, this is a little bit of a long clip, but it's been a pleasure sharing my thoughts and a little bit of my personal life. I'm in the process of writing my book. So yes, it will be a lot of things that I'm sharing about me that's going to be in my book. And I will, or let's just say, I envision myself right now basically watching my own movie. of my life and how me playing one of the beings to inspire billions and billions of people. I envision myself watching my own movie right now. So anyway, until then, I will be back with another interesting topic. Take care.